in Chisholm. Actually, I'm thinking about readmission now.
Readmission already?
Yeah.
Fall is here, hear the yell, back to school, ring the bell, brand new shoes, walking blues, climb the fence, books and pens, I can tell that we are gonna be friends, I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
I think I should mention this to the listeners that Coco and I actually have fortunately had the opportunity to talk the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten to know a little bit about her, and I've heard that you did mention that you tend to you were really close with your high school teachers, was it?
Oh, I really love my high school.
Right.
So I should probably introduce myself first.
Right. All right. So I guess we should start with. So who are you, and where do you come from?
Yeah. So again, I'm Coco Wu. I'm a Year 1 BA student, and I want to triple major in linguistics, psychology, and translation. I'm from the ESF family. I'm from ESF Discovery College, and class of 2022. Yeah.
I have some sort of relationship towards Discovery College only because I worked in Discovery Bay, which if people don't know, it's somewhere near Sunny Bay Station, correct? It's like you take a bus from Sunny Bay Station where Disneyland's at.
It's I think in the middle of nowhere. So you can either...
Yeah, it's sort of in the middle of nowhere if you think about it. Yeah. Did you live in Discovery Bay? Because I noticed most people who go to that college live around the area. Right?
I really love Discovery Bay. Yeah. It's just like a dream.
It really feels like another world. When you're in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate to be a part of DB family, and so I can experience another version of Hong Kong when I was there.
Right.
And it feels a little bit like Europe, a little bit like
Europe.
Yeah, a little bit like in the middle of nowhere in the Europe or Australia or like just islands so quiet and chill.
How do you find the difference between living in Discovery Bay and Canary Town? Because I actually came from Tung Chung. I'm from Tung Chung, so that's sort of near that area.
20 minutes away.
Yeah, so I did find a lot of like differences. Mostly, there are a lot of cars. You hear a lot of cars here, which is quite rare in Tung Chung. I don't know your experience living in Kennedy Town. How is that like?
I feel very fortunate to live in Chisholm College because from Discovery Bay to HKU is like an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it's like 3 hours per day for commute time.
Yes.
Oh, that's so horrible. Like, Discovery Bay is very beautiful, but after that traveling time, you just feel so tired. The beaches are very beautiful, but I don't care because I'm too tired.
The beaches are very beautiful. Sorry, I kind of sort of misheard that a little bit. It's okay. To all our listeners, it's we're talking about the place.
Yeah.
We love everything about the beaches.
What were we talking about? Leaving Discovery because Discovery College is in Discovery Bay. Right. So I just bike to school every day.
Oh, you bike to school?
Yeah.
Is that common for like Discovery Bay kids to bike to the school?
Not really. It's, I don't have time to do exercise.
Oh, right. So that's hit two birds with one stone essentially. You go to school and get some exercise.
Yeah. And what's the question again?
Well, there isn't really any proper structure of this podcast. We're just having a casual conversation. But last night you did mention that you did theater. You did theater in your high school and you really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, last question. You're talking about... you mentioned that I said I love my teachers.
Right.
Yeah.
We can go back to that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think Discovery College is my favorite place in the world. I don't know if you have been there. It's just so beautiful.
I've walked around it.
Yeah,
I haven't been inside it, but I've walked around it, yes.
It's like a nest, a very cool
nest.
People can Google it. Yes,
you can Google Discovery College, Discovery Bay.
Yeah, I think it's the most beautiful school I've ever seen in my life. And then I think the whole community is just like a family and we just love each other. So, and I think they're so supportive in a way. I can give some examples.
Sure.
So I think once, I won't mention any names just to protect them. a boy. I think he was fighting against leukemia,
Oh, wow.
and he didn't go to school for quite a long time. And you can see a lot of banners around Discovery Bay saying, "Oh, you can do it, and we're always here for you," or like some very very kind notes. And then we're very grateful that he managed to survive leukemia.
That's great to hear.
Yeah,
I think it's very powerful that the school was able to organize something so personal like that. Were you particularly close with this?
No, I don't
boy?
know him. He's much younger than I am.
Okay.
And the day he went back from school, and the whole LED screen from Discovery College said, "Welcome back!" And
That's
stuff like
nice.
that. Oh, that's
Feeling
so,
very welcomed. Yeah.
so warm-hearted. And I heard some of his great friends and classmates, include boys and girls, they
Right.
just shave their head for him.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of them.
I feel so loved and supported in Discovery College. So I think that's the most precious experience of my life.
I think it's nice that you enjoyed and are very grateful for your time in high school, because I have met, I don't want to name names, but I've met a few people who didn't really enjoy it, and I kind of sort of feel bad for them, because I think high school was such a different time that you just had to enjoy, because it's a time that you can never go back to, no matter how old you are. And I think you just have to enjoy, which you obviously shown that you have had.
I think that's not the whole part of the story.
Oh.
Because IB's too hard.
Okay, well, every high school has, studies and academics has an
I
issue.
think we claim, I don't know if it's true, but I believe that IB is the hardest high school curriculum in the world. And I have to write a lot of essays and do lab reports.
But that did prepare you for uni.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Right.
I think it starts from year 7.
Years.
Which is grade 6 in normal school curriculum.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had to deal with references list, APA 6 or 7 so at a very young age. And then it's so hard during the year 12 and year 13 period. Our teacher is just like, "Oh, you're IB kids. First year of university will be so easy for you." Stuff like that. When we were crying about the EEs and stuff like that. And but I think they're not totally right, because I made a very bad decision in semester 1. Taking German made me feel like first year of university is not easy at all. And so I stopped taking German, but now I'm learning online.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's great to learn a language. I don't know how many languages do you know how to speak, but my experience is, because I mainly speak English, as you can tell, but I speak a little bit of Tagalog, Filipino, and Cantonese. But I've noticed that whenever I have to switch languages, I think some people can relate to this, but the way you think, like, it's sort of like you have different personalities depending on the language you speak. I don't know if you could relate to that. It's when you were learning different languages like Germany.
I don't know a lot of languages, but I know a lot of dialects.
Okay.
I can speak English, British accent, American accent, Australian accent, Cantonese, Mandarin, and my grandma's from Chongqing, so I can also speak Chongqingese. She's not a Chinese dialect,
Okay.
and a little bit of German. So for me, I think switching between different languages is not that hard, but switching between different accents within the same language is very hard. For example, like, now I'm too used to British accent, and then you want me to switch back to American accent. Now I would say that, "Oh, chance is much easier than chance."
He has an amazing American accent, yeah. An attempt at it.
Thank you. I'm kind of dramatic in terms of conversation, so
Okay.
I have to hold the horses or the...
No, I think that's fine. I think that's even better, actually, because I don't know about some other people, but I find myself more attracted to people who are much more expressive with their thoughts and emotions, because weirdly enough, it's quite a rare thing to find in people, from my experience. And once you do find it, it's like this magical moment, like, oh wow, this person is so different from everyone else.
Thank you. But in terms of, Discovery College has a very chill culture, and people are just very, how should I word that? Open.
Right.
So, like, we just discuss some. Other people might see this as inappropriate, but we just discuss issues about sexuality, gender, what else? Ethnicity.
So everyone's very open to talk about literally
about
anything.
Yeah, everybody's very, like, not everybody. Most of people are very comfortable with talking about this. We even had an event in year 11 called Sex Panel. So
I'm sorry,
Sex Panel.
Sex Panel.
Organized by teachers. So basically a group of volunteer teachers gathered together. We were still on Zoom at that time. Gathered together to teach kids about the realities about sexuality or sex in terms of other misleading information that the kids might get online.
Right.
So very, very genuine and helpful conversation. And I really learned a lot from that. I still remember some quotes, but it might be inappropriate to mention here.
No, it's fine. We're all adults here, right, everybody?
For example, a teacher said...
yeah, go for it.
Use water-based lubricant.
Water-based lubricant. Okay, I gotta write this down. Water-based lubricant.
Yeah, because, like, if you use oil-based, it might dissolve the condom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or what else?
And we don't want that.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit inappropriate, so you might want to cut this bit.
No, it's okay. We're all adults here.
I don't know how to say that. It's not awkward when we were in that conversation. It's not necessarily that everybody was having sex at that age. It's just like the teachers know that some of them are doing it, and then they can't do anything about it. So they just we'll teach you the proper way and the self way of doing it.
It sounds like the people, like the students from Discovery College, are very mature from what I've heard. Because if I was thinking in my high school, if teachers were told a similar event or a talk like that, everyone would just be making jokes and laughing like, oh, condoms. Like that's just how I think my high school would go about it. So I think it's your high school sounds very mature and open about these things.
I think it's not only that people are mature, and it's also the teachers are very, very genuine. It's just that we feel so appreciative and lucky that somebody willing to share this kind of things with us. Right. Yeah.
Are you still in contact with the teachers or like the school in general? People from the school?
Yeah. So when I'm traveling, I always write postcards to my teachers.
That's nice. I think that's very sweet. I love, I think I should mention this, but I love writing letters specifically.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most thoughtful things that you could do for someone. It's very sweet. Thank you. Especially when you go to another country, it's sort of like, oh, even though I'm in another part of the world, I'm still thinking of you, which is, I think, very nice of you to do.
I think they're just like my family, and I learned so much from them, not only because they're so nice and so professional, but also because they're so professional, and I think they're the greatest group of people I've ever met, in every aspect. For example, our principal, he's from Oxford, and he learned English language and literature, and he got Rhodes Scholarship, and he also got a master in Oxford. And the head of science, he's from Oxford and Imperial College. The head of our theatre teachers from one of the best theatre schools in the world. My dean's from UCL, and what else? The support teacher is from UC Berkeley. So most of the teachers are from one of the most prestigious schools in the world, but they're so humble and then so take us as their own child.
No, but you didn't feel like any inferiority around them. You felt as if you were all on the same level, equal.
Yeah, and I feel so grateful to have a chance to learn from this group of great people, because it's not only about how they teach, it's also about how to deal with the issues and how to behave, and informal scenarios, and then I think I just take this as a part of me, and then I have a greater understanding of the standard of how I should be in the future, how to be a great person, or like what does a great person look like.
I think that's perfect segue into the last question, which is, where do you think you're going from here?
So in terms of jobs,
Right.
Initially I wanted to be a linguistics or psychology professor because I really enjoy teaching. And
did the teachers inspire you to want to do teaching when you grow older?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most meaningful jobs in the world.
I think so as well.
To shape young people's soul.
Right.
And to make them become great adults. Or just to simply make them fall in love with something.
Right. Find what they love, find their passion, what they're meant to do.
Because if you fall in love with something and then are fortunate enough to take it as your job, you'll be a very content and happy person. I think that will in fact your lifetime unfold. And I thought that job would have work-life balance because I would have weekends, summer vacation, winter vacations.
Right.
Until I went to different office times of my different professors and lecturers, like, no. As a if you decide on to take this academic road, before you get your tenure, you will not have weekends or summer vacation or winter vacation and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think work-life balance is as important as my career. So maybe no.
Right.
And then before uni, I still want to be an IB teacher back at Discovery College, a TOK teacher or a psychology teacher, because I just love that place so much.
Right.
And they just changed my life and then shaped the person I am today. So I want to do something for my favorite school in the world.
Right.
And to stay longer with my DC's family. And another job I'm considering about is simultaneous interpreter.
A simultaneous
interpreter.
And what that is?
That is, so for example, if we have some international meetings, so original speaker is speaking in one source language, and then the simultaneous speaker just translating it into another language at the same time. So for example, with a delay of maybe a sentence or 5 seconds, stuff like that. That's a very demanding job, and I think you can just learn so much from that. Most important meetings, to catch up with the politics, and to meet those great, not necessarily great, but powerful people. And I really love language, so I think that's a great way of training myself.
Right.
I'm considering doing it in UN in Vienna, because our family, as I mentioned, my dad worked in Vienna. I don't know if we have any Austrian or German residents here.
Hello, Austrian and or German residents. If you are there listening, I know you are.
Yeah. So, I want to work there to stay with my dad for a longer time. That's 3 potential options. No matter which one I get into, I'll be very happy and content.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you sound like a person who's definitely got your life sorted out, and I think it's quite rare, especially at our ages, where we don't know what life is going to offer us. But I think that you had a very strong and fortunate and blessed school that was able to make you into the person who you are today, to be able to make these decisions, and I think it's wonderful. I've learned a lot about you, and
yesterday you asked me why I choose to come to this podcast.
Right.
So I said
you can be honest. It's okay.
Yeah. I listened to the episode 0, and
What did you think about that?
I think your voice is so good. I really like your voice.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Can you please say that one more time into the mic?
Yeah, I really like his voice.
Thank you.
I think
that means a lot.
It's just very, very delightful to hear.
Thank you.
And you are like just very talented at doing the podcast work because you have great
Oh my God,
voice.
I can't take all these compliments.
No, I mean it, really. Not a lot of boys have this kind of great voice. Yeah, and you also sang. I think your singing voice is also very...
Oh, that was not me. I'm sorry to disappoint, but the person singing in the intro was not me. It was my roommate.
Ah.
Which he was also there was a cheese on dinner like a few days ago or yesterday. He was also there. He was the guy. He was from Bangladesh. Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
So I think voicing is a very important asset, according to a professional interpreter. I think he's one of the lecturer in translation department, and then I joined one of his seminars a few weeks ago, and then he's so cool. I think his name's Dr. Chunky Man.
Okay.
And then he said, oh, voice is such an important asset. As an interpreter, you have to protect your voice, and drink more warm water, eat healthy food, and as much vegetables as possible, stuff like that. So I think, yeah.
May I ask if you have any experience with sort of vocal training? Because I have to say, you also have a very maleficent voice. It's very, well, I'm a little biased because I think the British accent is very attractive. So I think, but there's also hints of Australian and Irish accents in your one, which I can pick up a little bit.
Thank you very much. For first question, I was a singer.
A singer?
Yeah. I stopped because I turned my interest into theatre later.
But it still requires a great amount of vocal training to be in theatre.
I think it's just you don't have a mic when you are performing, so just adjust your voice to a point that the whole theatre can hear you clearly. So I think that's why. And then I also like public speech, so doing public speech. So that's probably why. And the second question, the Irish accent and Australian
hints
accent.
of Australian, yes.
Yeah, I think that's because I've had many British and Australian teachers. My theatre teacher, he's from Northern Ireland, and my dear another very, very important teacher for me, our IB coordinator, he's from Scotland.
Right.
So I think that the influence might show me. Yeah. I can try to switch back to American accent.
Can you? That would be great, especially since this is a very what's the word, audio based format. If you could like switch accents in a sentence.
Okay, in a sentence. American accent.
American accent, go. Say anything in an American accent.
Okay. So I think American accent is a very standard accent in international schools. In ESF, and most of my classmates speak standard American accent. I don't know if it's American.
That sounded a little bit too British for me. I could demonstrate my British accent.
Sure.
Could I be British? We're not really a British pop band per se, but we do really like making music for the fans.
That's so great.
I don't know which part of the UK would that be, but
it's so posh. And it's like RP. Like
RP.
The Queen's English. And I think, yeah, you might be a very good actor because when we're on stage doing those...
You think so?
Yeah.
I do really look up to actors, actually.
Stage actors.
Right.
Stage acting. What am I going to say? Oh, you sound... When we're doing the ancient British shows or just like Shakespeare, Oscar Wilde scripts, we just use that kind of accent. For example, I don't know if I mentioned I did the importance of being earnest in 2021.
Yes, you did mention that a little bit yesterday.
I played Cecily, and
Right.
I think one of my favorite lines I can show you in the posh British theatre.
If you could do it right now, that would be awesome.
The truth is rarely pure and never simple. The truth is rarely pure and never simple. Like stuff like
I can tell you put a little bit more posh into your normal accent there.
It's just the style of their theatre, or Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. Did you bite your thumb at us, sir? Stuff like that. Yeah. Let me see.
Well, actually, we've covered everything.
Really?
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add on? Maybe anything you'd like to promote for yourself, I guess?
Promote.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
So I want to talk more about theatre.
Sure. Yeah, I also wanted to talk about that. We talked about it quite a bit yesterday, and it's not because it's not every day I get to talk to someone who did, and is also very passionate about theater. So what can you tell the listeners about theater?
I fell in love in theatre during the MYP period, just like middle school program in IB.
Okay.
And then I took IB drama and later DP theatre for many years. So I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding of theatre. Say, oh, theatre kids are theatre people are very pretentious. They're just
right, the stereotype.
Actors, actresses. They're just very shallow, stuff like that. And I think it's not necessarily true in terms of the profession of theatre, because theatre is different than acting. I think the most important thing is it's about stage acting, whereas other actors or actresses might work on the screen and they have tons of time to redo a same act. But for theatre people,
you only get one shot.
Theatrical actresses or actors, you have to make it through the whole 2 hours or 3 hours. For example, if you or your co-worker forgot some lines, you have to figure out to make up something at that moment to make the audience believe you are doing the right thing, you didn't forget your lines.
In theater, do they teach you how to sort of do that, like make something on the spot, or just something you just have to learn over time?
It's just experiences. You have a big enough heart to do that. I think it comes with practices. Of course, the more you practice, the more you're likely to do it flawlessly. But I think it's more like that because for major show or play, usually you have first night, second night, third night.
Okay.
So most of people I work with, including me, knows that the last one will be the best because you just improved along the way.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know that. It's good to know.
Apart from acting in theatres, also we have to experience different roles like directors and how write theatrical analysis. So you have to see a script or show from different perspectives. I think it really trains me as an actress and a psychologist because you have to have that delicacy into looking into that character, that script. How should you present it to the audience? How should you interact with your co-worker? And yeah, I think theatre people, all of the theatre people I've worked with along the way, from my experiences, they are the most genuine and kind and passionate people I've ever met. So I'm very fortunate. In my theatre class there are only 5 students.
Okay.
And all of them just passionately really love about the thing. It's not about the art subjects might be very easy. It's easier than chemistry, stuff like that. It's not that. I think to many extents it's much harder than other subjects. For example, in the theatrical analysis, we have to, you can't just say, this is, for example, you are designing a plot or a scene, you can't just say that, oh, I want to use it, this is cool, because it's cool. You have to justify it. Like, there are a formula of doing it. Tension, emotion, atmosphere, and meaning. So what does it bring to the audience?
Right.
And then, what does it create for the stage? And then what meaning does it convey? And I have to justify, explain every single act I choose to design in the theater plays. So it really also trained me as a writer, and made me have an attitude or a way of like justify every single thing I said.
Right.
That's very helpful of construct a great conversation.
This might be a little personal question, but I wanted to ask if you've ever sort of fallen in love or like sort of had an attraction towards the characters you've been playing, because I've met one person who has.
Fall in love with
Like,
the co-worker.
Sort of not really the coworker, but like the characters you play in the theater.
Oh.
What I meant by that is I know a friend who she did acting, but I wasn't really close with her. But she was so into it that sometimes she'd bring the character home with her and to like wherever she goes. Like sometimes I don't know if I'm talking to her or the character. Or that could, I don't know if that's a normal theater thing or that could just be just her.
I don't know, but I do love every single characters I've ever played. I think as a theatrical actress, when you was assigned to this role, you just put a part of soul in it. Like, you have to imagine that you are this person and how she would act and how she would respond to in this script.
Right.
And then you
have to really understand the character you're playing.
Connect your personal experiences with them. And then it's not about pretending another person on stage. It's about expressing yourself, a part of yourself, or a part of your soul in a different setting.
So different people can play a same character differently.
Yeah, definitely. And I think every single great actors and actress love the acting career, and really take it as essential thing in their life. Taking your character home, I think when you were doing the rehearsal process, it's you are just that character. It affects in the way you speak, the way you think. Especially when I was doing The Importance of Being Earnest, it's a 45-page play, and then I have 26 pages of lines. We had to do that within a month because a boy from our class, he was going back to Canada very soon, and then we want to provide this experience for him.
Oh.
So it just like, normally it took around 2 to 3 months, but I just pack it into 1 month. And I also had a lot of different assignments during that time, so I now need to wake up at 4:30 a.m. and memorize my scripts, make sure that I won't forget it.
Right.
So at that period of time, I'm just asleep. Or the people might notice that I talk in a more posh way, because before that I didn't have British accent.
Okay.
And after the show, I can't switch back to American accent anymore.
I think that's very interesting that you sort of unintentionally switched accents because you were so into theater, and that it just sort of became part of your voice already at this point.
Yeah.
So I guess we should wrap things up.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you, Coco, for being the first ever guest. And I
really?
think, yes, you
really?
are the first guest. You are the first person
who
responded, and we're the first person who's doing episode 1.
I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, really. And I'm glad that someone like you is the first guest. I think you were the perfect first guest for this podcast.
You're so kind. I think the poster was there for quite a long time.
It's been there, yeah.
So I was worried that I really want to get into this podcast, but what if too many people are signing up for it? And
Oh no, that's not the case at all.
yeah, I really enjoy it, and then I feel very glad to meet you. You're such a great and interesting person to talk
Thank you.
with.
That actually means a lot to me, especially someone coming from you. It's definitely much more experienced than me, as I can tell.
Nah, I'm only 19.
As age doesn't mean much.
Yeah. Another,
anything you want to add?
Yeah,
Sure. Listeners don't mind. You're gonna sit here and listen to this, listeners. That's an order.
What have you learned along the way? I think another thing is traveling experiences, and I think the whole point of traveling is just to talk with interesting person like you.
Right.
And
Where have you traveled to?
A lot of different places. Let me think. Egypt, Switzerland, Germany, Austria, France, Singapore, Japan, Laos, Vietnam, Canada.
Oh, you've been almost everywhere.
Liechtenstein. No. Hungary, Czech Republic. That's pretty much it.
Right.
So I really enjoy traveling, and then I feel very fortunate to be a Hong Kong citizen. Allows me to go to most of the countries I want to
Hong
go.
Kong passport's very
in the
powerful.
world. Yeah, without visas. And so I think the whole point of me studying so hard during the semesters is because I know that at the end of this I will go out to travel to eat great food and meet great people. And I think another thing I have to confess is I really enjoy seeing good-looking people.
I mean, who doesn't, to be fair? I think everybody just loves looking at good-looking people, right?
Good-looking people that I can see along the way. Like, for example, Egypt. I went to Cairo.
Capital of Egypt, right?
Yeah.
Cairo.
Most of the people there are so good-looking. Oh my! Like
You would say Egypt has the most good-looking people in all the countries you've been to.
yes.
Okay.
And
Gotta
looking
get
at
me
them,
to Egypt then.
yeah. Like I don't understand how is it possible? Like literally, I didn't met any.
I don't understand how people can be this good-looking.
Yeah. I didn't met any like not good-looking people at Egypt, and everybody's just like walking out from the sculpture or stuff like that. I was like, oh my gosh.
I can sort of relate to that. Earlier this year in January, I went to Japan with my mother, and the Japanese people, they dress really well. Mm-hmm. They dress very well. They're very nice. They're very polite. Very kind people. And I had this one experience with this Japanese man. I was in his store. He sells like these patches that you put on your clothes. And then he was very nice, and we were browsing around, and he came to greet us. And I noticed it said on his shirt Radiohead. Mm-hmm. And I don't know and then in my mind I was like thinking, oh, the band Radiohead? But I wasn't sure, right? That could have been the brand of the clothes. And I was just staring at it because I was trying to understand what this Radiohead meant in his shirt. And then he noticed me staring at his shirt, and he goes like, oh, Radiohead. And I was like, oh, the band? I'm doing like a guitar motion right now. Like, oh, the band? And then he said, yeah. And it was very nice because I don't speak any Japanese. Mm-hmm. He doesn't speak good English. But we both knew the lyrics to Radiohead songs. Aww. So that's how we communicated with each other. we were singing Radiohead lyrics. Yeah.
That's so sweet and then romantic in a way.
Yeah, it was very nice, very romantic, yeah.
Yeah. That's such a great experience.
And then ever since then, I just realized going to another country and really connecting with people who are very culturally different was like a magical moment. So I think you're very fortunate and blessed that you were able to go to all these different countries and experience those different cultures.
Thank you so much. I think my family just tend to use our savings on traveling. And instead of doing other things. So I'm fortunate, also Singapore, to travel since I was a toddler. And I think that also made me become a very brave person or calm. So, because I know that during the traveling time,
Right.
oftentimes you'll meet different obstacles. For example, I lost my passport in London last summer.
Oh, okay.
And
That sounds scary.
Yeah, I think it's a road called Edgenon Street, and then somebody just stole my passport because I put my passport in a passport bag, and that bag looks like a wallet.
Okay.
Like, people don't do that. Don't put your passport in
Yeah.
a wallet like passport bag, and yeah, it was stolen. And fortunately, there's a emergency hotline offered by Hong Kong government, and then
If you were to lose your passport in a foreign country.
yeah, and for Hong Kongers, and it was in the middle of night in Hong Kong, and there's called the number, and somebody just picked up
At the middle of night, like 12 in the morning.
like 1 or 2.
Oh, they're still open at that time?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's insane. It's like, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, you're a lifesaver. And then I just filled in the form, wait there for 20 days with my dad, and I got my new passport.
Thank you, Hong Kong.
Thank you, Hong Kong. Yeah, you're so professional. And I feel really
Staying
grateful.
awake
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
just for people
yeah.
who lose their passports in a foreign country.
Yeah. So I think that's why Hong Kong is my favorite place in the world, in terms of the culture and how people behave and the food, and the climate is just perfect.
Well, I'm glad that you're that you seem very fulfilled from what I can tell, and I hope that inspires listeners that, be grateful and enjoy whatever is given to you and what you've learned.
So tell me more about yourself.
Oh,
Like it's almost like me talking.
that's kind of the point. You get to know it's because the guest is changing every single episode, so everyone already is going to be listening to me talk and know about me every episode. So I kind of want to focus mostly on the guests.
It made me feel like it made me sound like an egotist. Like,
No. I think the whole point of this podcast is, just talk about yourself, not in an egotistic way, but just to let people know you and learn about what you know.
I see. And another interesting point that I noticed from you is your standard American accent.
Right. She praised my American accent, which nobody has ever done in my entire life, which I find very, very sweet. It was very sweet of you and nice of you to say.
No, not a praise. It's just I was quite shocked.
Oh, it's not a praise.
It's a praise. Okay, it's a praise. It's a praise. It's a praise.
It's okay. You can be honest. You can be honest.
It's just a comment. Like, how could somebody do such a standardized American accent? Because among all the Americans I have ever met, so every single American accent has an attitude or characteristics, but Brian's accent is just standardized American accent.
Yes.
Full stop.
No personality, just the most basic American accent.
Like it's just so.
I think it's more specifically
amazing.
called Midwestern accent. I might be very wrong on that, but I've been told that it might have been specifically called the Midwestern accent.
Yeah, and I think that's why podcast is such a great fit for you.
Thank you.
You might be a great host, or because
Thank you.
everybody will love your voice.
Well, if I were to talk a little bit about myself, I really like talk show hosts. I remember some point in my life, even to this day, all I did at 1 month was just watch talk show episodes.
I like this as well.
Most notably Conan O'Brien. I don't know if you know Conan O'Brien. He hosted the Tonight Show at one point, but he was mostly a late night talk show host. Johnny Carson, David Letterman. Most people I look up to are talk show hosts.
I see.
I think they're very cool, the way they can just talk so smoothly and have like this authoritative way on how they control conversations.
I also like that. I think I forgot one of the hosts' name. He was from SNL.
SNL, okay. Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon. I really like him. He's such a talented actor and host.
Yeah, I think he's currently the host of Tonight Show right now,
yeah.
the current host. Well, I think we have to wrap this up. I just want to say again, thank you for being the first ever guest of Chi Chums. I'm really glad that someone as expressive and knowledgeable as you was able to be the first guest. I think you're a very good first guest, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you around the hall. Hopefully you won't ignore me, and we'll...
I won't.
Most people do. You'd be amazed by how many people do.
Really?
No, I'm just joking. Everyone's very kind here.
Yeah, everyone's very kind.
Yeah, everyone's very nice and kind here. And
thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for hosting this event, and thank you so much for inviting me here. And I feel so privileged. And I think a part of it is because I want to get the readmission, but...
Oh yeah, anyone who also wants to be easily readmitted, apply for the podcast.
I'm not sure.
No, it was great. It was great. It was a very lovely conversation, very intellectual.
And then I feel very grateful to these listeners who managed to stay with us for an hour. Yeah.
Well, unedited right now it's an hour, but it'll probably be less than that. But again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to possibly being on a future episode.
Thank you so much. And then if I heard there are a lot of ESF alumni here. If you're one of the ESL alumni, please comment below. I would love to meet you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Coco. It was a delight talking to you.
Same. Bye.
Hey, Brian here. Brian Mikael Cheng here, the host of the podcast, if you don't remember. I thought I should just end every episode with me thanking the guests. So, thank you, Coco, for being the first guest of Chi Chums. It was an absolute pleasure and delight to get to talk to you. And for anyone who wants the opportunity to have a conversation with me, because not every day you get to talk to someone like me, or you just simply want to tell the residents of this hall about yourselves, don't be shy. Sign up with the QR code. In the elevator, again, if you haven't seen it. Don't worry, we're not doing anything illegal. So yeah, this is just me and the outro. It's currently March the 14th, Tuesday, 10:57 p.m. Playing some strings, recording the outro, and hope everyone had a good reading week. My reading week was it was good. I enjoyed it. It mostly consisted of a day of Clock and Flap and episodes of Breaking Bad. That was my reading week. Hope you guys had a good reading week, a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, and thanks again for listening. It really means a lot to me. Bye.